Welcome back to the Deep Dig A Sports Pod. I'm your host, D, and today we are going to be discussing the action from week 11 of college football season. But before we dig into that, be sure to hit that like button, be sure to subscribe, drop some comments below, let me know your thoughts. All right, moving over to the Big Ten. The top of the Big Ten stays the top of the Big Ten, realistically. Uh, Ohio State goes ahead and blows the doors off of Purdue. Penn State blows the doors off of Washington. Who did Oregon play? Oregon played Maryland and got a huge win. I love them just kind of showing that they are not going to let their foot off the gas. They're out there running fake punts when they're up by like 20. I do like that. I like that Dan Lanning has that. We are going to prove it every single week that we are the top team in the league. Dylan Gabriel is playing himself into Heisman candidacy. He is now ranked, I believe he's the second in the odds, right above Ashton Genty. So this team is kind of flying under the radar for being the number one team in the nation. They have a pretty easy path the rest of the way through. I think that this is a team, once you really start to get them in the playoffs and see what they can do against high caliber. I mean, realistically, they left points on the table against Ohio State. So I do think that they are a good notch above Ohio State. And Ohio State has proven that they are probably one of the only other teams in the entire nation that is a complete team. We just saw it with Georgia. Georgia has a great defense. They don't really have the offense there. With LSU had a defense that cannot go against a mobile quarterback. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen. Alabama forgets how to play football sometimes. BYU gets points put up on them by random like third string quarterbacks. So there's just in this whole playoff bracket in the top tier of this year's college football standings, there are teams with a lot of holes in them, but those two teams, Ohio State and Oregon, have proven that they have both offense and defense, and they have coaches that really care. So those are the most two complete teams, but Oregon has just shown they are a notch above Ohio State. Uh, Penn State, again, they found offense again. Cool. I need to see it against a big boy. This does nothing for me. It just keeps you in the standings. Cool. But I need to see you put up points against a legit defense. That's all I'm going to say about that. Indiana. Indiana goes, I believe it was at home. They played Michigan. And this was a close game, much closer than people expected. I mean, realistically, the narrative is already out there for Indiana. They need to either beat Ohio State this week or have a good showing in a loss. But if they go out there and get blown out, I don't know if they still end up in this college football playoff. We'll see where they rank them after this. But yeah, I mean, you don't feel great about it. I mean, it's a team in Michigan that everyone has said is bad. They do not have a quarterback. They have the guy playing quarterback for them went from starting to second string to third string and now back to starting. They do not have a guy that can sling the rock. So you're playing a team that is one dimensional and you really couldn't put up points against them. I mean, they do still have a lot of talent on that defensive side of the ball. I was expecting Indiana to go out there and light it up and show like, hey, this is a team that still has a name, that still has a really good defense. And if we go out there and put up points, this has to prove something. But you keep it a close game. I don't know how that affects them moving forward, but that is just something to think about, that people are already talking about their strength of schedule. And if you don't go out there and you didn't go out there and look impressive against Michigan team that, again, doesn't have a quarterback that cannot throw the ball, I just don't know how that affects you moving forward. And I mean, Indiana obviously has things to improve. They showed a lot of holes in their game. Their receiving core dropped a ton of balls today. You got to get better. You got to shore up these things. We got to make sure moving forward that we finish guys. And I mean, this is the most important matchup of the year coming up for Indiana against Ohio State. Let me know your thoughts. Go ahead and drop some comments. Be sure to subscribe and please hit like. All right. I'll see you next time. Later.